Have you ever heard of somebody who abducts little boys?
Room below's got some horrible smells.
We don't want to go in there. What are you doing?
Complimentary room service. Here is that.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura,
I'm Joel.
and we're the Newly Deads. And man, it has been a hot minute since we've recorded a show, so we're getting back into the swing of things. It's a new year, a new us.
Back to it then.
Back to it then. If this is your first time watching, this is a half-hour chat show where we talk about a movie that we've watched. If this is not your first time, welcome to the show. Or welcome back, I should say, if this is not your first time. I am rusty. We also are going to be uploading this as a podcast every week. I promise you, that is my goal. So if you're listening to this, you can find us and watch us because this is actually a visual show. So you can watch us on our YouTube channel, or you can just find us actually at thenewlydeads.com for all of your Newly Deads needs. So on that site, you'll find information about this show. You'll find information about our other shows that we do upload onto YouTube that Mr. Newly Dead does. He does unboxing videos. We do snack reviews and all sorts of fun things. He also does blog posts and random things like that sometimes. But we really appreciate you joining us. So hopefully you're having a happy new year. This is probably mid-January by the time you're watching this. So we want to get into the meat and the potatoes of the episode here pretty soon. So like I said, this is a half-hour chat show where we talk about a movie and we've got some criteria for that movie. So every time we watch a movie, except for our December month, we were watching holiday films. Usually it needs to be a horror, thriller, or sci-fi genre movie. It needs to be a movie that neither of us have ever seen before, and it needs to be under $5. So that's the basic criteria for the show. And then we just talk about it. So this week, we actually are watching something a little bit different. I know that I promised that it would be, still on par, which it is. But this was actually gifted to us by our friend Gary Hill, and he is the owner, I guess. What would you call that? The producer, director, and
He writes the
writes.
items,
Yeah, he's the everything at Spooky Ventures.
Yes.
So he graciously gave us 5 short silent horror films that he wrote, directed, and produced along with some other people. And so we watched them. So this is a little bit different. Usually we watch kind of like dollar store kind of movies. This is local to our area. So Gary actually lives in our neck of the woods. So it's a little bit different this week, but still spooky and still under $5. And we haven't seen any of them. So it does fit all of our criteria. With that being said, do you have trailers or anything like that? It's going to be a little bit different, I think, this week, right?
There are trailers, yes. I mean, at least that were on the video itself. So I'll have to see what I can cobble together. But Gary also was kind enough to grace us with the entire first season of his show, because he's a horror host also, called Scary Gary. And so we also have those too, which I don't think we'll be talking about those specifically.
But thank you for providing us with all of that content too. Gary's a really nice guy, and we're excited to do things with him in the future too, possibly.
We're looking to make some
fun
connections.
choices.
I don't know how to
fun
put that.
choices. Yeah. But yeah, so thank you again, Gary at Spooky Ventures and Scary Gary, the show. So I guess we can watch some of the trailers. I think is what you're going to do is you're going to put maybe some sort of compilation thing.
Try and figure something out. Yeah, we'll make it work.
The reason we say this is because he hasn't edited this yet, obviously. And so, you're watching the show at the same time we're watching the show. Well, he is the one that's editing it. So yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to pause the video. I don't. Do you want me to do something with the trailer still? Is that a thing? Yeah, I'll just this year I'll leave it up to you. So
No, that's
yes,
your job.
No. Yeah,
I don't because I don't know how this works. Except I'm not used to doing.
yeah. Could you do like a rig? You know, like a little like video like rig thing, like where it's like the camera on a.
Oh,
You know, do you know what I'm talking about? And then because it's it's different. It's a right. That'd be kind of fun.
Shot.
Yep, and make it honk.
Of course. Did you want to see if there's
a synopsis? Yeah, let's take a look. I didn't even think. Yeah, duh. Oh, here. I'm wearing my contacts today, so I have to put on my cheaters. It does. I mean, it's got all the names of the movies. Do you want me to list that?
I've got that in my notes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could.
Or you could just make something. I don't know.
I mean, there isn't really a synopsis on any of these things. They are some short stories. So these are all based on different short stories. So one of them is The Facts of the Case of M. Voldemort by Edgar Allan Poe, The Statement of Randolph Carter by H.P. Lovecraft, Home Sweet Home by E.F. Benson, The Secret of Growing Gold by Bram Stoker, and The Yellow Wallpaper, which was one of my favorites because I actually read The Yellow Wallpaper when I was in college, and that's by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. So, yeah, there's no synopsis on this. Yeah, as you'll see when we start talking about it. So, all right, I'm going to pause it and we'll be right back.
From the mind of the master of cosmic horror, H.P. Lovecraft. The Statement of Randolph Carter will be hitting this YouTube channel on May 25th. What lurks beneath a forgotten tomb in an ancient cemetery? Join us here on Sunday, May 25th. The Statement of Randolph Carter will be presented in vintage, silent, short film style. Are you prepared?
And we're back. Mr. Newlydud, you got some notes?
I do. And so every time we watch something, I'll take notes digitally and then print them out in this nice little analog format. And then at the this gives us a guideline as far as what to talk about, information about the people that are involved. And at the end of the year, Mr. Newlydud will collect them all, put them into a flip book, and then you can see them on our website that we mentioned previously.
Which I need to get on for 2025.
Yep, 2023 and 2024 are currently available on the website. 2025 is complete, done, nothing to be said. More about that, and Mrs. Newlydud is going to collect them into a flip book. When it will be on the site remains to be seen. It may be up by the time you see this, which will be week after next. But I don't know. We'll have to see what time allows. But as soon as we can. But then these next year, 2026, will be available on the website at the first of the following year.
Yes.
So before we do this, Mrs. Newlydud also last year committed to take notes, and she completed that task 100%. Unfortunately, those will not be seen because we got 0 emails with people asking to see them. So sorry, kids.
That's
it's
okay.
Not happening. But this year,
yeah,
make that same commitment.
I'm going to do the same commitment. And I even bought a new book for it. So it's a big book.
It's a giant book.
A huge book.
I have my phone open, which normally I don't. But the reason that I do is I did want to mention one thing that actually just popped into the feed today. Gary posted in the Spooky Ventures Films site that The Statement of Randolph Carter and The Vampire Maid have both been selected for the Illinois Horror Film Festival of 2026. So we just wanted to say,
congratulations
for that, because that's a fun little extra little side note that just happened like 3 hours ago was the announcement. So
yeah, congratulations on the nomination, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Timing is real nice, Claire.
Yeah, real nice.
Did I forget something? Was that everything?
You're going to show me your drawing?
Oh, right. I knew I forgot something. So whenever I take notes, I also do drawings, as does Miss Newlydud. So at this point, she's going to...
He drew a pumpkin, a ghost, and a little Scully. I drew a Scully, and I also drew a weird bird, which is not really a raven, and it's just a spider, and some doodly
line things.
Yeah, doodly line things.
Which, that's the fun about looking at the notes if you want to go look at the flippy books from the previous years and eventually 2025. You can see all the fun little pictures I drew because we are both artists, and that is something we also do as well. So, all right, let me get these where I can actually see them here. So, 5 short silent horror films from Spooky Ventures is from 2025. This contains, as you mentioned, the facts in the case of M. Valdemar by Edgar Allan Poe, which you may know him from The Raven. That's probably his best known work. The Statement of Randolph Carter by H.P. Lovecraft, which most people will be familiar with. Lovecraft from The Call of Cthulhu. Home Sweet Home, which is E.F. Benson, who did something called Miss Mapp, which you may be familiar with. The Secret of Growing Gold is by Bram Stoker, which I don't know who that guy is. It's some thing called Dracula, like anybody knows what that is. And The Yellow Wallpaper, which was Charlotte Perkins Gilman, which that's her biggest work. And like Laura said, something she was already familiar with, which I knew about only because she had shared it with me early on in our relationship. So this is directed and written, or should I say adapted, by Gary Hill, who also has done The Red Room, The Vampire Maid that we just mentioned a moment ago, Torment, The Empty House, and Maxon's Master, which I know nothing about these, but he did write and direct all of those. And I know just based on watching the films here that he also co-produced all of these as well, which I know they're currently in the throes of shooting some more short films. And so there is more content coming. All right. That is pretty much it for my notes. Oh, I did want to mention one of the actors. I probably should have put this in my notes, but one of the actors that was in all of the films is Andrew Labs. And I've got my phone here again. Sorry about that. Who actually has done quite a bit, as has Gary. He's been a producer, an actor, a writer, and done sound department. And he's actually got a couple things coming up, including one with David Howard Thornton.
Very cool.
Which I believe is called The Dead Place, if I remember correctly. He's doing a Bad Apples, which I don't know if that's a retelling. There was another movie called Bad Apples from a few years ago. The Apex Predators Club, which sounds fun. And then something he did earlier this last year called A Hard Place, which there's actually a poster for that one. And he did a short film with Gary Hill that I know that they did some big push for called She Knows.
Yeah.
It's got 8.4 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database currently. So it's pretty good stuff there.
Yeah, he's got some really cool acting creds.
Yeah. So normally when we do this, things kind of go in a certain format again, because we're kind of going outside of the norm here to kick it off. Being rusty and going outside of the format is a recipe for disaster, but let's see if we can make it work.
I think it's a recipe for a cake.
For it is. So let's first talk about the facts in the case of M. Valdemar by Edgar Allan Poe. So most of these run, I would say, what was it, maximum like 15 minutes-ish? No, half hour, I think, was the longest one.
That was the last one, the Yellow Wallpaper, I think. And then the other ones,
like 7 to 15.
Something like that, yeah.
So truly short films.
Yes. And they're all black and white.
They're all in a black and white, a sepia kind of thing that he's aged down, and they're all silent. So they've got,
title credits.
Title cards that come up that give, what the actors are saying and kind of fill in the blanks.
Music.
Then there's the music that's appropriate to the time. And even the effects that are involved are all period accurate. Gary seems to have an affinity for silent films, and if you watch Movie Time with Scary Gary, same thing. He always had
a lot of like little scratchy like things and like the little pop things and burn hole, whatever. Yeah.
the cigarette burn, so to speak.
Yeah.
And if you look at the on the disc itself, he also includes outtakes, and he has the versions of the films before they've been de-aged, as well as commentary and trailers. I mean, he packed this thing full of stuff, which is fun to watch. So with M. Valdemar, that one, I was not familiar with that story. It was kind of interesting. Spoiler alert, he was dead the whole time.
Kind of. He wasn't dead the whole time.
No, he started out alive.
Yeah. Oh no, I thought it was interesting, and I really like Edgar Allan Poe. I'm not familiar with every single thing of Edgar Allan Poe, so it doesn't surprise me that I've never heard of this one. But it was interesting to adapt it, in a silent film manner. I really liked the makeup and the effects that they did with the M. Valdemar guy. Yeah. So
Was he actually Valdemar? No, I wasn't clear on that.
that's what the facts in the case of M. Valdemar,
that makes
right?
sense.
I guess. I'm guessing that was.
It is the morning. I'm going to blame it on that.
Yeah. So I liked how they did the effects for his body, like
Transition.
rotting kind of, and yeah. So it's a little bit of a slow burn, I would say, for like the silent film aspect of it. But it was very effective, and I really enjoyed this one a lot. Actually, it was pretty cool.
And I liked the music cues on it. Also worked well with the storyline. And it's interesting if you watch the behind the scenes stuff that he has on there, that they literally rented out a space and created a corner wall that they just kept converting to each of the sets for the story, and included some green screen, some, a little bit of costume changes, and it's amazing what you can accomplish with such a small kind of
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this basically was a bedroom for all intents and purposes, and the people came in and out of the bedroom, and that was
doctors
pretty
and
much
stuff.
your whole
It was
thing.
like kind of like a bedroom or hospital
Yeah.
room or something like that.
It was a little unclear about that. I think it was probably intended to be more like a hospital situation. But
yeah. There was the way that it starts off is there was like a mesmerist or whatever, and like he put M. Valdemar in like a trance kind of a thing, because he wanted to die, and I don't think he wanted to feel it, and so that's why he put him in this trance, and he kept saying, "Leave me alone, I'm dead," kind of a thing, but he was still talking to everybody.
Right.
So it was a cool story. I definitely liked it.
Because essentially, by putting him in the mesmerist trance, it kept him from dying.
It kept him from rotting.
Rotting, yeah.
Yeah.
So once they pulled him out of the trance,
His body just like.
at the end. Spoiler alert. I mean, these are all old stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the statement of Randolph Carter, I felt like I was kind of wondering what the original story was, and it kind of made me curious about reading it, because it felt like a very kind of simplistic ending, and there wasn't like a big climax or anything, which stories don't necessarily have to have a big climax. But I was, I think this was probably my favorite of the stories, just because I like the way that they created the cemetery out in the field.
Oh, right.
That then they remove this concrete plate that then has a stairwell that leads down into hell. It's kind of some sort of.
It's definitely seemed like it was hell.
And just the way that they were able to pull that off by digging, this shallow pit that he even took the time to build stairs into, and going down into it, and then creating the sense and the feeling that this guy is going down into some sort of horrible place that he should never have entered to begin with, which matches up with Lovecraftian kind of horror. And one of the other things that I really liked about it is that he had a faux background that looked like an ancient library, and he's sitting at the table reading these old texts. And you just kind of, it had very much had a sense of an old silent film.
Yeah.
It's very effective.
Yeah.
Very simple, but very effective.
Yeah. And like, the cool thing is he put a lot of like the extras and stuff in here, so you can kind of watch commentary and some of like the behind the scenes things, and maybe some bloopers or something.
There were
like
some,
that. I thought there were some bloopers.
Yeah.
But getting to just like see the kind of the behind the scenes and learn about how they created that whole is like amazing. Yeah. So they definitely did a lot of production on this one for sure. Like there was a lot of work that went into making this one, and I really liked the story. The only thing that I would say would be and if you want to call it a negative, but it's not really a negative. It's just my feeling about it is some of the music didn't quite match the tone of the mood of it. I felt like it was a little more like upbeat, and the only thing that I wish is it was like a little darker,
At least when he walked down into the pit, because he had this device that was basically a telephonic device where he could converse with the gentleman that stayed outside to kind of be his tether, so to speak. The music continued to kind of stay the same with kind of this. It was almost like an adventuring
Yes.
kind of tone.
Yes.
Which at the beginning it makes sense. 'Cause
Yes.
he's doing his research. He's excited to go down in this thing and
Yes.
see what's there. And then as he enters it, just the tonal shift would have been a little bit more effective.
Yeah.
But this does take place outside and inside, so they're again adding more production value by having a second location.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my only,
Thoughts,
comment on it
critique.
is, I wouldn't even say critique. Like, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I wrote down good story. Just the music didn't quite match the tone.
So then we have Home Sweet Home by E.F. Benson, which was very cleverly done. I like the fact that they used kind of the traditional old school effect with because there was a haunted area, a room that was haunted by the ghost of a woman who had been killed there.
Yeah.
And they have this just simple little, I'm assuming it was some sort of tubing that was blowing smoke up, which I assume was something you could get at any Halloween store. But it created the effect of the ghost kind of appearing and disappearing. The only thing I was kind of curious about was the noose effect, which I don't know if in the story if she was hung.
Right.
But the fact that it was kind of pulling her back and it was this giant noose kind of was interesting.
Yeah.
Like I didn't quite.
Like, did she die by suicide? Did she? I mean, she didn't. Ultimately. So, like, I was just curious. You're right. Like, I wasn't entirely sure, like, how she died. Like, was she strangled to death by the actual person, or was she strangled by a rope?
Which they kind of implied that it may have been Denton the gardener that was the one that was behind the murder, because he was very intrigued by the room and kept appearing in the window and when he was outside. And we don't really find out what happened to Denton, and I don't know if the story is vague with that or if it just was time constraints or whatever. But
I really liked the editing on this one and the effects that they had. It was very effective.
It felt very much of the time, which I think was the whole point.
Yeah, it was and again, it's the same set.
Yep.
But it didn't feel like it. It felt like a different set. Like they were in a different, like almost like a house or something like that. I mean, they did a really good job with that window setup that they had,
Yeah, 'cause they had a window that looked outside, and then they had a piano in there, and the person's kind of investigating what's going on in that room, and then they go outside, so you're outside and you're assuming that it's what the other side of the window is. And it's like, okay, so it makes the room and the space feel bigger than it actually is.
It felt like they were, outside. Like there was some spatial, like they did a good job with like spacing, I felt like.
Then we had The Secret of Growing Gold by Bram Stoker, which death by hair is a new thing I've not come across.
This is a weird one. I've never heard of the Secret of Growing Gold either, but death by hair is a good way to put it, for sure. It's a weird story. I mean, I get it, right? Like, this man had 2 wives, and it seems like he killed one of them. And it was. They did a good job with the effects, I feel like. Because,
again, it was very much a throwback.
Like, how do you make a hair grow out of a stone? Because that's kind of what it was. Like, the hearth was cracked or whatever on the fireplace, which they created a whole fireplace for this.
Which I wonder, was she burned in the fireplace? Was she buried underneath it?
Right. Yeah, and her hair is growing out. That's the gold, kind of thing.
The growing gold, which it reminded me very much of some of those old stories where they've got the villain gets their comeuppance at the end, like the old EC comics. That's what I'm looking for. Where it's a morality tale, like you do wrong, you're not going to get away with it.
Yeah,
something's going to get you
for sure
what you've done.
Yeah, that was good. The one thing that we had issues with is I feel like the title cards were a little fast. We had to keep pausing it because it didn't give us enough time to read the cards. So I felt like up until this particular one, the pacing of the title cards were fine. But like once it got to this movie, I felt like they were like a blip, and then they, he had to keep rewinding and then pausing it, and then it kind of took us out of the movie a little bit because we had to like slow it down a little.
There's a lot of exposition, which it's kind of hard. You have to tell the story, but you also have to kind of figure out timing on it. And so if we had any critique at all for that one and the yellow wallpaper,
just like 3 seconds longer would have given us.
Space it out into 2 separate cards, which then again, you're running into a different situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like making the movie too much longer.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of the yellow wallpaper, I have to assume that based on Laura's reaction to the story, because was very geeked about the story when she first told me about it years ago.
Yeah.
That, you know, from a film perspective, I was a little unclear as far as what the ending was. Like if the gentleman died, whether the woman was in the wallpaper, whether it was in her mind, and that's kind of what I liked about it, was that it was a little vague.
That's the point. That's why they had us read it, I think, in college, is because it's it's a thinking book, you know?
Yeah.
Like you gotta, we all read it. It is a short story. It's pretty thin little book that we had to read. And, you know, sometimes you're like, I don't want to read and do a report. But after I got done reading it, I just like could not wait to go talk about it in school. And so I was excited to see the film adaptation of it, and very excited that somebody chose that, because it's kind of I mean, it's not obscure because it's a popular novel, you know, or whatever, like short story. But that's the point, you know, of that whole thing is like, is she going mad? Like, is there somebody actually in the wallpaper? Like, you know,
and it feels like some other people may not have done it because they may have thought it was unfilmable, because, you know, a lot of the descriptions, it sounds like, of the wallpaper and her moving within it, and kind of how it's both a prison and you know, or not. And there's a lot of aspects to it that there's different directions you could maybe take with it. And I thought Gary chose an interesting kind of avenue with how to portray that part of it, which, you know, when you're on a limited budget, you can only do so much. And I felt like he used those tools to create kind of that illusion that when you're reading it, you know, your mind does that. And here you have to kind of show it in a different way. And I'm unfamiliar with the story, so I didn't have any sort of context with it. But
yeah. I did like, I will say that, you know, some of the other movies that we watched were like heavily de-aged or whatever. Is it de-aged? No, aged. Like aging it. Like heavily aging. Yeah, super aging is what I wrote down. Super aging.
Super aging.
And this one wasn't as aged, I felt like, and I actually appreciated it a little bit better because it was easier to see some of kind of the details and stuff. I felt like some of the aging on some of the other ones made the like white balance and saturation kind of go a little where it was like kind of hard to see the contrast and stuff on some things.
Yeah.
So this you kind of have to, because the yellow wallpaper is yellow wallpaper, right? And it's got black and brown and stains, and like, so there was some color too to this one, which I think really made the story kind of pop because of the fact that it is a color, and, you know, just keeping it black and white and then just that one color, you know, really made a big difference. I feel like in the story.
Definitely make a statement when you're watching something like that to have just that pop of color.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that, you know, that it was good. Again, the only like thing that I have to say is that the title cards were a little fast on this one too. We had to do a lot of pausing. You know, because it wasn't, and the font that they chose. I understand why you did it. Or why they did it, because on just speaking parts, it was a different font. And then when the person was writing, because she's doing a lot of journaling, I think they were trying to make it look like handwriting.
Yep.
But it was not a font that was like super easy to read. Just because it's like on I forgot which font it is, but it's like a slanted kind of, you know, I don't know. When you're trying to read a card and it's a lot of writing and stuff on it, it's a little more difficult to kind of read all the print.
But I mean, that's a minor critique, really.
Yeah.
The bigger picture of things.
Yeah.
We've not made a film ourselves.
No.
Like
Yeah, absolutely. So. I'm a font person. Like I like hand lettering and, you know, that kind of stuff. And so yeah, I understand, you know, the choice on it for sure. Cause I could tell, I was like, okay, well, this is somebody who's writing something down instead. Right. This is definitely one of my favorite short stories. I thought it was interesting take on who the woman was behind the wallpaper. I think that's what you were saying. Kudos to the woman who did it, because she had to crawl and creep on her knees and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought it was really well done.
It's a long day of knees.
It's a long day of knees. Yeah, just crawling and creeping all over the place. But
so do you have any final thoughts?
I definitely appreciated this. This is something different that we've never, watched before. I mean, we've watched some silent films and things like that, but as far as local, this is really cool. I think that it's nice to see people creating this kind of art in our, area and like in our local, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but so I don't know, like, are we rating all of this? I don't think we need to. I think this is, I feel like just, our commentary on it and just, appreciating the fact that somebody is creating something like visual art. That's what I was trying to say. Like, this is a little bit different. So thank you to Gary for sure for sharing this with us. And hopefully he'll be continuing to do this and making more films, because I feel like it's different. It's different than what a lot of people are doing. So
my final thoughts were, it makes me happy to see Rockfordian filmmakers.
Yes.
We know they exist. And we're on the visual art side of things, with creating, paintings, digital art, etc. So it's nice to see this other aspect of it. The only other thing we need to get involved. Well, we have friends that make music. So this is something nice to see and hopefully be a part of.
Yeah.
So
all right. So what are we watching next week? Or do you have a suggestion?
No.
Yeah.
I was just saying just this, like, if you get a chance to track this down, I don't know if Gary makes these available in some format to buy or whether I honestly should check. Maybe I'll put something up here if they're available online, but highly recommend you go check them out. Anything else Gary's got going on, because he is a busy guy and he's doing a lot in the community for film.
So what are we watching next week?
Next week, we are watching the first one there.
We are back to normal.
From 2005.
The Vampire Conspiracy?
Yep.
It's from the Midnight Horror Collection, Blood Predators. This is all it looks like. We watched Curse of the Wolf.
Yep, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Vampire Conspiracy is by the same person, if I remember right.
All right.
But I don't remember now because it's been a while since I wrote the notes.
Well, let me read the synopsis. It's not rated. It says 5 people are abducted by a maniacal vampire and put into a deadly maze of wits and endurance. If they make it through alive, the vampire's fortune is theirs. If they fail, they'll be placed back in the game forever as bloodthirsty slaves pursuing the next round of victims. The group must discover the connection between them to solve the complex clues and survive the band of slaves to escape a twisted game of predator and prey.
I've never heard that before.
Interesting. The Vampire Conspiracy. All right. Well, again, thank you so much to Gary Hill and to Spooky Ventures, because that's a whole production company. I think it's not just him. It's his wife and actors and all sorts of people. And thank you for watching us. And until next week.
Keep it cheap and creepy.
Bye.
Doesn't mean you should go chasing the dead.
It may be your robot, but it's my house.
I want to get a close look at these sharks.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I'll be careful.
Oh, are you cooking breakfast on my smoldering corpse? Can I have some?